Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
We are live from Podville Media in Washington, D.C. and around the world. You are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome to the party, and please join us along with our friends in great places like Brookline, Massachusetts, Bend, Oregon, Weed, California.
What are you doing?
What are you doing in my field? Skagway, Alaska. That one sounds familiar, Oscar, doesn't it? Skagway.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've been there many times.
King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and Arezzo, Italy. The Mike O'Mara Show is on right now. We are happy to have you with us. And we start with a little look back at the events of last week. We wanted to talk to our wonderful friend Reed Galen, founder of the Lincoln Project, and discuss the whole situation that was a big surprise in political circles. And it's been a major, major news story all week regarding the results of the midterm elections. If you haven't heard Reed before on the show, he's an independent political strategist. Years of experience stem from working for President George W. Bush, Senator John McCain, and Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, which we've never really explored, but maybe at some point.
Sure.
It's always serious stuff we talk with you, but
Yes.
I'd love to
Absolutely.
know. Reed, would you like a cup of coffee? All right, stop. I'll stop
I do
that.
have a great story that I'll share
You
with
do?
you sometime.
Oh, you
Yes.
tease.
Okay, wonderful. To find out more about the Lincoln Project and to listen to their podcast, go to lincolnproject.us. And Reed, always a pleasure. You've been a very busy man because people want to hear your opinion of what happens. I don't know where to begin, but I will begin with I guess we will always have political polls, but it just seems to me more and more now that it's not that you can't really count on them because they give you a little picture, but the concept of polls really letting us know what's going to happen is out the window because it just never seems to be what happens.
So this is a great thing, Mike, and I'll tell you that what we've seen is a couple of things. The first one is that if you've ever gotten a call on your home phone at dinner time from a stranger that you then choose to spend somewhere between 32 and 40 minutes on the phone with, then you have self-selected to be someone who answers a poll. Right?
Oh, okay.
Like
I
that's
didn't know
the kind of, or, maybe sometimes 25-50% they try and do on cell phones now. But how many people answer calls from cell phone numbers they don't know, right? So it's a very small, shrinking pool that pollsters are using. I think also in the wake of 2016, because no one, yours truly most of all, did not expect that Trump could win or would win. I think that a lot of times they oversample Republicans because they're afraid of getting it wrong again, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But the third thing is that, and we saw this really in as organized a fashion for the first time I've ever seen, is the Republican Party and its allies started pushing out as many BS cheap polls showing Republicans winning as they could, starting about late September or early October, to show that the quote-unquote red wave was coming. Because they wanted to do one of two things. They wanted to dispirit Democrats because happy Democrats vote and unhappy Democrats don't, and it's not hard to make them unhappy. And that they wanted to be able to have this idea that if last Tuesday didn't go their way, that the whole thing was rigged. And so this is the first time you've really seen the entire, what I'm going to call MAGA media political ecosystem trying to rig the game, so to speak, on a numbers game, right? That, look, the Dems can't win, the Dems can't win, the Dems can't win. And so that's unique. It's probably not the last time we're going to see it either.
I thought about you and your organization after the results started indicating that the midterm was not going to be a red wave, because I thought in terms of, you heard an awful lot about the MAGA extremists of the Republican Party, that whole Trump MAGA faction that I think one of the reasons that your organization was formed was to get the Republican Party back where it used to be in your mind and the other founders' minds. I would imagine the results now, is there hope coming out from people at the Lincoln Project about perhaps civility getting back into and the democracy being maybe a little more under control, or do you still think we have a threat from the MAGA Republican faction?
No, it's absolutely a threat for sure. We should not take anything for granted. It's one of those things we try and tell people don't get caught in 2015 thinking, right? When Trump came down the golden escalator that summer, we all thought it was a joke. We all thought it was a joke all the way through 2 years ago, right? Or 4 years ago, 6 years ago. Geez, think about that, right? It's been 7.5 years since that guy came down the escalator.
Wow. And
we can't get caught in that. We can't have a lack of imagination. The other part, too, is that the American voter is an incredibly fickle creature, right? And this is one thing I do want to stress, and we'll stress this to our friends in the Democratic Party, is it was a great night for democracy, by which it was a great night for Democrats, but that does not mean that all of those people that voted for Democrats, which include an incredible number of young people, enough Republicans, enough independents, were suddenly latched on to everything that the big D Democratic Party stands for, right? They said they had a choice, and oftentimes in this country, voters don't have great choices. And they said, maybe I'm not really for the Dem, but I really don't want that guy or that gal, right? And so just think about it, like the biggest tumor on America, both literally and figuratively, is likely to announce his fourth presidential run tomorrow night as we record this, right? Until that is excised, right? We're not in a safe space. And even once he's excised 2 years from now, if he wins the Republican nomination, which I think he would, and I think better than average chance he'd lose a general, but again, shouldn't take anything for granted. Can the healing process begin? Because look, we left I'm an independent. I left the Republican Party. In my mind, the only way to save it now is to burn it to the ground and start something new on its foundation, because it's not salvageable in its current form. The people that you're hearing, especially in Washington, D.C., where Oscar and Rob are sitting about how we're done with Trump, the party's finally going to let him go. It's all BS. They're all cowards. They're all saying this. But you know what? The one thing they don't have is actual voters. They have donors. They have the media. They have the operatives. They have Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy and all these other people. What they don't have is your average, base Trump voter in central Pennsylvania or suburban Atlanta or
Lee County, Florida.
Lee County, Florida, right. You are the...
I drove by it. Reed, I drove by an intersection 15 minutes ago that a guy has a trailer set up. This was maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the election. It's still up there. There is a flag, the largest flag I have ever seen, that says Trump won. And this guy makes his living now, not election time, just selling the F. Biden, Trump won stuff right there in the reddest county in the world. Later on, I'm going to talk to the guys about just how red the area I live in is. It's incredible. You are a voice of caution over what I'm hearing from the Republicans now about he's done, he's not going to help anymore, he's a loser, he's proven he's a loser. I guess from what I'm hearing you say, you think that, speaking of Florida, our 20-point victory governor, Ron DeSantis, would perhaps not have a decent chance against Trump? Or do you think it would be a cage match?
I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen hundreds of candidates. Ron DeSantis won narrowly in 2018 and then took total control of the state of Florida politically. The Democratic Party in Florida is non-existent, basically. He was running against a guy, Charlie Crist, who probably not a bad guy, but he has been all 31 flavors of politician in Florida, right? He's been everything. But the thing that Charlie Crist did in that debate, just to give you a wider perspective, is he showed you that DeSantis is actually not a very good politician. He's not a very good political athlete. When pressed on stuff, he got this weird look on his face. He didn't know how to react. And I guarantee you that down at Mar-a-Lago, Trump has been watching the replay of that with his Super TiVo going, I got this guy's number. I got this guy's number. Because remember, they don't understand. None of them understand, Mike. And I don't understand how we convince our former colleagues of this. They've never been up against a face-eating monster like Trump. They think they can beat him. They think they know him. They think that they can run like a normal campaign and somehow like the Komodo dragon won't bite you and leave you for dead. Like that's what this guy does. And the people who back DeSantis, first of all, listen, he's not better, right? He's not a better choice than Trump. He's a different, he is a dime store car wash version of Donald Trump.
This is amazing. The reason I'm enjoying this so much because I did watch the debate, and there's a little physical tick, I guess, that DeSantis has when the other guy's giving him crap, like Charlie Crist in this case. And it's almost like he's having a little ecstasy moment there where his teeth are grinding and his jaw is going back and forth like that. But everything you hear about this guy, every talking head Republican I see on TV is talking about DeSantis. You face-eating monster. That is
Listen,
the best.
I mean, think
there.
about this. I mean, first of all, running for president of the United States is the most difficult human endeavor outside of, a political endeavor ever created, right? And you got to go to Iowa and convince people in diners in Ottumwa that you're worth listening to. Then you got to go, Mike, to a place like New Hampshire. Those are super friendly people, right? Especially when you think you're something special, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Then you got to go to South Carolina, a state party that Trump owns lock, stock, and barrel, right? Like, and you got like the political colonoscopy that Ron DeSantis or anybody else that goes up against Trump will endure. They haven't experienced yet. And here's the thing, is that Trump has been such a jerk and such a bad person for so long, decades in American life, that he receives a massive discount rate for his bad behavior. It's already expected. It's baked in. Everything now with DeSantis, which will come out, whatever there is, and I don't know that there is anything, will now say, wait, he's not the guy we thought he was, right? And then you see the Ted Cruzes of the world and the J.D. Vances of the world start to say, well, I'm not going to let this guy get in line ahead of me. And remember, they're all in their 40s, right? They can all wait. And it wouldn't surprise me if DeSantis finally says, you know what, like this guy, if I take this guy on, number one, he's the anti-Trump candidate, right? That by definition, he becomes the anti-Trump candidate. Now, I think also, just as an aside, I think Mike Pence will get in because, Trump tried to kill him. So that's a fair thing. But DeSantis, if he is truly a smart guy and everybody says he is, he's got plenty of time. He shouldn't be in any hurry.
We're talking to Reed Galen from the Lincoln Project. It's lincolnproject.us. And let's take a look at the other side now, because the polls that here I go, quoting polls, which I should be. But a lot of people were asked in the Democratic Party, do you think Joe Biden should run again? And the overwhelming results of the poll were no. They didn't think he should run for 2024. Right. You talk to a lot of people. You know your stuff. What's your opinion on that situation?
I think that first of all, he's the only one. This is, I think, what he thinks to himself. I have no other way of knowing this. And I bet he tells people this. I'm the only one who has beaten Donald Trump. I'm the only one who can beat Donald Trump. And I'm not sure I disagree with him. One. Two, I think once you're a sitting president, sitting behind the Resolute desk, there's literally no one in the world other than your wife that can tell you what to do. Right? Literally. 8 billion people on the planet, Dr. Jill Biden's the only one that can tell Joe Biden what to do. And then lastly, I think that he is, it's like the grass is always greener. Oh yeah, I'd rather have somebody else. Okay, who's going to survive? Talked about a cage match, the cage match of a Democratic primary, right, where they will be pulled, incessantly to the left, out of the mainstream, right, to a place where a Donald Trump could win a general election. Right, because the United States is not a progressive country. I hate to break it to a lot of people. We are not a progressive country. We are a centrist country. We might still have like a tinge of red, right? But I think we're more in the center than we've been. Now the center has shifted. Don't get me wrong, Do I think that a lot of Americans want more choices? I think they do. Would they rather have choices other than Joe Biden and Donald Trump? I think they would. That's likely the choices they're going to get. And I think that if you had 4 years of a steady hand, even if he's not what you want, right, to inspire you. And remember, Democrats want the one, right? They want their Neo. They want another Obama. They want Clinton, Bill Clinton, not Hillary. And the Republicans just get in line. And so I think that from my perspective, if President Biden wants to run again, ain't nobody going to get in his way.
I just want to make sure Mike's still on the line, Reed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mike, you can still hear us? Or did we lose him?
I think we lost him.
Well,
did you see how I rolled through that, though?
You did.
He couldn't take it.
Well, no, it was
the only meltdown.
The only indicator was the smile.
Yeah,
when he disappeared. Live. I'm kidding, of course. Well,
how about you give him a text or call him, and I'll continue talking to Reed. Reed, if you could answer this question, and Mike will join us, as the show's in progress.
Sure.
As of late, I'm trying to grasp with the reality that, at least within my circles, that if you're a Democrat, you have to be some sort of woke socialist, and if you're not completely woke, then you're not a real Democrat. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's why can't you be a capitalist, have a capitalist mind, and still feel like you're a Democrat? Why do true Democrats, quote unquote, ostracize people? Are like, well, there should be balance here. It just can't be, you can't be just giving everything away.
Well, because this is I think an issue. If you take the Republican Party, 2/3 of it is Trumpy and MAGA, and 1/3 of it is somebody who I used to be, maybe even less than that, maybe 20%. In the Democratic Party, I think it's the inverse, obverse, I can't remember. I never get those words right, which is it's probably 25% of the party that's truly the uber progressive woke types you're talking about, and the other 75% are otherwise normal human beings who understand that progress is important, but progress also means it's incremental, right? Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens because you just want it to. And I think that, that is, and so what happens is you have a very noisy progressive part of the party who is rabid online, is willing to say anything, to your point, Oscar, about being the purifiers of the party. And the majority of the party who's just trying to get their work done, but doesn't want the trouble of taking those people on. And that's something that they have to do. Right. And so just for example, back in March, the president of the United States, Joe Biden, gives a State of the Union address. Right. Not one, but two Democratic members of Congress give a response to that speech. Does that make any sense? That makes no sense. Right. Just as a purely political matter. And so you saw, was it yesterday or the day before? Right. The Progressive Caucus in the U.S. House says, we got our stuff done. Elizabeth Warren has an op-ed in the New York Times over the weekend. The progressive agenda is winning. They want to make sure they're claiming their turf, but what they don't understand, because they're either unwilling or unable, is that when you do that, you're pushing otherwise normal human beings back off the island of the pro-democracy, pro-decency caucus into but I don't want that crap, right? I don't want any of that stuff, right? The sociopath will beat the socialist 6 times and twice on Sunday, right? In this country, that will happen. And we're already, after 40 or 50 years, conditioned to believe the words socialism and communism apply to Democrats, right? And they have done too little and, far too rarely, I should say, to push back on that. When, to your point, listen, Oscar, if you could find pro-business Democrats who also understood that there's a necessity for a strong and organized labor component to this, which I think is a hugely missing piece, because Democrats have largely shed the working class as part of their coalition in too many states, then that person would be very, very difficult to beat.
All right, so I lost the signal down here in Southwest Florida for a little bit, but what I'm hearing, if I can recap before we let you go, Reed, is your prediction would be that it's kind of looking like it's going to be a repeat. We're going to have a Trump-Biden election, and I hear that and I feel a pain in my gut. It just scares me. It makes me feel all wound up that we're going to go through this again when the midterms made me feel differently. I kind of breathed a sigh of relief. I said, okay, there's normalcy. Then when you talk about the extreme of the Democratic Party as well, I think there's a need, and I'm a middle-of-the-road guy. A lot of people can call me left, but I like to think, I've said it before, I'd love to vote for a Republican for president.
Right.
I think that we need more cross-pollinization that way, but when you say, I was just so at peace for a moment. And then you're saying it looks like Trump, Trump will win the nomination, Biden will still run. Yes.
Yes, that's why I'm here. Right. Your friendly neighborhood Cassandra to remind you, no, it's not all over.
It's not all over. Wow. And I don't disagree with you either. It's
but let me just say this, Mike, is that you were right to feel a sense of relief, as did we, which is last Tuesday night was a good night for democracy. And as you all probably know, like, we're not Republicans, we're not Democrats, we are pro-democracy. That's our issue. We don't get into policy or issues or anything like that. Democracy is our only thing. We've been talking about it since, we launched 3 years ago. And so, we focused on the governor's races in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, and Arizona, because from our perspective, and the secretaries of state races where they occurred in those states, because from our perspective, they were existential. They are existential to the 2024 race. 2022 was always going to be a way station to the next presidential. Josh Shapiro wins in Pennsylvania, check. Gretchen Whitmer gets reelected in Michigan, check. Tony Evers gets reelected in Wisconsin, check. Steve Sisolak in Nevada loses, okay. Joe Lombardo, though, who's the sheriff of, basically Clark County, Las Vegas Metro, really did as good a job as anybody in sort of treading about like not being too Trumpy or an election denier and still getting elected. And then it looks like Katie Hobbs down in Arizona may eke out a win against Kari Lake, who is probably the scariest and most dangerous candidate of the bunch. And we've also seen that all the election denying Secretary of State candidates, which, most people don't know what they do, but they run elections in most states, have lost. So that means, at least, Mike, for now, take solace in the idea that the infrastructure, right, the underpinnings of the mechanics of American democracy are good for 2 years. But that does not mean that we can relax, because here's one thing I can tell you, right? The right-wing ecosystem that I used to be, I guess, a part of, they've been at this for 60 years. They're relentless, they're well-funded, and they won't stop. They will double down. They will figure out new ways to do this stuff. And the only way to get rid of them is to beat them again and again and again.
Oh, all right. And last question, Georgia. Not nearly the spotlight that would have been on it if it was for control of the Senate.
Sure.
Do you think that's going to benefit Warnock, or will it benefit Herschel Walker?
I think Senator Warnock should win that. But I was listening to, I don't know which of your shows last week, Mike. You asked about why the person who got the most votes in Georgia doesn't win. The runoff was created specifically to ensure that a black candidate couldn't win. So that if the white candidate or anybody got under 50%, that it went to a runoff, and at that point there was almost no chance that an African American candidate could be successful. Wow. And so the January 2021 special election down there was hugely important. And now they have two African-American candidates. So you asked the question about why that happens, because most are first past the post. If you get more votes, you win. And so I think that Senator Warnock should win. But what we'll be talking about is not control of the Senate, which the Democrats have, but the characteristics of each candidate, which is Senator Warnock is an honorable guy, right? Ebenezer, Baptist Church, where Martin Luther King preached, and that, let's be clear, Herschel Walker is fundamentally an unserious individual and absolutely 100% unqualified to be a member of the United States Senate, and that will probably give a lot more, soft Republicans and conservative-leaning independents the pathway they need to vote for a Warnock, because if it's like give Democrats more power, they'll just stay home.
Okay, that's it. Reed, oh, wow. I mean, just always like a master class when we have you on here. Always great talking to you, and come on again soon. because this is never ending, and I'll ignore the fact that you've put me in a horrible mood. That's it.
Is that really that long a trip?
That's Reed Galen, everybody. Thank you very much, Reed, for coming on the show. I don't know. I will tell you this. I don't know what happened exactly with this little set. I mean, I am talking about when everything goes dark here. It was just like a power surge or something. What happened on your end? You're up there at the Master Center. Yeah. I don't know what.
For a brief moment,
you just dropped.
For a brief moment, we could see your skeleton through your skin, and then you were gone. But Reed kept rolling on. I mean, it was almost unnoticeable. So
ever vigilant. I guess that's what he says. That is that. It's just so fun to talk to a guy that's really in the trenches,
that understands the landscape.
Understands and gets it, and
makes me feel. That's why. Look, I'm an idiot when it comes to these things. I'm still learning.
You're not. I mean, you're engaged in it now, which is something that I think is a triumph. I think the fact that you care now. And I think you're not alone. I think there are other people out there that care. But I can tell you from my perspective, Oscar, I did breathe just this sigh of relief. But at the same time, I want to make really, really clear here that nothing would make me happier than to have candidates from whatever side that are where it's a great choice. I mean, for years and years it was the lesser of two evils. You heard that, and it seems like you always heard that. I'd like it to be, respectable, quality individuals on both sides. I think America deserves that. But I don't know, where we're going to be with that. And I also have to say that if it's between a man that's going to be 80 and another man that's going to be 80, that's tough for me to digest. But he's right. Who is it? Who else is it going to be? But the best part is down here, being from Florida.
Yes.
When you hear about our governor Ron DeSantis down here and the face-eating monster.
That's the best.
That Donald Trump is. And a Democrat last week said to me, "Do you see that? Oh, there's not going to be, if he goes against Trump, there's not going to be anything left." That's the attitude that people have about Donald Trump. So, as I said, a lot of his candidates lost. There's still that giant flag. No other candidates in the United States of America have a souvenir stand on the side of the road. It's amazing.
Did you know? I'm going to be very transparent here. I didn't realize attorney generals had so much power and key roles in administering elections.
You mean secretaries of state?
I'm sorry. No, is it attorney generals?
It's secretaries of state.
Yes,
secretaries of state. That's usually in the state of Florida and other states. Those are the people that are in charge of administering the elections. So the midterm elections, Oscar, were they were very focused on these elections because you've got a lot of election deniers that were running for Secretary of State under the guise of elect me. And if I had been Secretary of State, this election wouldn't have gone the way it went. That's scary. So, that's really scary.
But the majority of them lost, which is key.
Most of the deniers lost. Yeah. You know what he said that was fascinating that I found is that, and I've heard this from other corners, but hearing it from Reed sort of solidifies it. He says that the Republican Party has been destroyed, and the only way to save it would be to burn it and bring it back up again. And I'm wondering that if things play out the way they could with another Biden-Trump rematch, if Trump loses, is that the match that burns down the Republican Party? And you know what? It's so hard to say, but
I just think going through that again.
It's going to be miserable.
Just makes me miserable just to think of the possibility. Really, ever vigilant.
Yeah, but it's still miserable.
But I haven't mentioned
sours my stomach
often. I joke about it, but I truly do live in the reddest state in America right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I think so.
I'm shocked you don't come in here in a terrible mood every day.
Can you support this with statistics, sir?
All right, my governor.
Yes.
You have Ron DeSantis, won by 20 points.
Yeah.
Republican.
Republican.
My two senators, Marco Rubio, he won, Republican.
Right.
Rick Scott from the other senator, Republican.
Yes.
My congressman, a gentleman by the name of the 19th in Florida, Byron Donalds.
Yes.
African-American gentleman and Republican.
Also Republican.
My county commissioners, every single one of them in Lee County, all Republican. Check this morning. Can't give you all the names, but I'll give you all the party affiliations.
Yes.
Republican. State senator, Republican. State representative down here, Republican. I think almost, if I'm not there might be one exception, but I'm pretty sure every member of the school board also Republican.
I know
so
for
now
a
it's
fact,
official.
Mike,
We're not purple anymore.
that your county dog catcher
Yes.
is going to take away a dog's right to choose.
And speaking of dogs, Winslow
Yes.
has been at boot camp for 2 weeks.
And it's sleepaway camp.
At sleepaway camp, and he will be returned to us tomorrow. Now, I'm frustrated because my wife has handled all this. She's posted some videos on her Facebook page of Winslow, like in a crowded store, and she says something like, what is it? What did she say? Place?
Was it
Place?
Tiffany?
What do you mean?
Store that he was at? Was it Tiffany?
No,
Being
it was
trained.
like a Bass Pro Shop or
Yeah.
a
Oh,
Home
okay.
Depot.
All right.
And he just sits there and he's like behaving just like, and what Carla doesn't know, and I don't know, tomorrow is the day we get the drop off. We get him returned to us, but I haven't heard anything about.
You don't have instructions?
No, and I said
Maybe you
and
missed
Carla
the
gets
email.
pissed off at me because she's the liaison, and I'm like, so what's the deal? Stop asking. Well, when do you want me to stop at? When are we going to know? 10 minutes before we get him, and is she going to like slow down to 20 miles per hour at a parking lot somewhere and drop him off? And then we got to figure it out. I'd like to know, because what I'm afraid of is that, like a human being, he would be at rehab. And then he'd come back to rehab, and all the old habits would develop
It's
again.
the
That's what
opposite
I'm
of
worried
your
about.
kid going to someone's house with different rules, except for they have better rules. You know how sometimes I get my nephew back if he had a bad sleepover and he was like kind of had an attitude, was talking to us a different way.
I've gotten that.
And
I've
you're
gotten
like,
that.
what is
Hey,
the story, dude?
Yeah,
where
but
were you?
Yeah, but it's the opposite.
You're back at Paris Island, dude.
Yeah, but it's not the opposite, because what Mike should be most concerned about is not knowing the commands and what is expected of him.
They're
Maybe
in
there's a
German,
lot
you
of-
have-
there's a
if
lot-
they're in German, you need to know.
And you know
And
what?
our
Maybe
baby-
there's
our-
a lot of tricks that you need to unlock.
Yeah.
Well, and our babysitter, Carmen, over the weekend, Michael's other grandmother, his Puerto Rican grandmother, said to us, you really need her to come back to the house. And I agreed. And Carlos was like, eh. So, I mean, I hope that my dream situation, she drops Winslow off here at the house. We have our little training session. And then, as I said to Michael as I was taking him to school today, then we're going to be able to take him out and show him off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the idea of going to public places and go, place, and he just and he
I have
sits
the
down.
better analogy. It's like physical rehab. Once you're done with the rehab at the establishment, they give you a bunch of exercises.
Yeah.
If you don't do them, you get
At
back to
home.
where you were. Yeah,
Yeah, you
You
need
don't
That's
do them at
exactly
home.
right.
Yeah.
And as Rob said, I just want to know what the commands are and how to do it. I'll work them.
Yeah.
I'll work them all the time. I'll take them out more than I've ever taken them out before because I want to be that guy. My dad trained a dog. He used to train our dogs.
Aw.
Yeah, and the neighbors, it was a big thing, I think, for like 60s dads.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that our next door neighbor used to do, he had Springer Spaniels. And
A hyper dog.
he'd throw the cigarette on the ground because he was a chain smoker, and the dog would go and put it out.
I'd pay to see that.
It was great. Great show. Well, I don't know what our running time is.
Okay, we're at 33 minutes exactly.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay.
We're in good
on
shape.
the same page. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. All right. Thank
We'll
you,
do it
Reed
live.
Galen from the Lincoln
Did your
Project.
dad ever train a dog to smoke a cigarette?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I started. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more fun. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. Homepage next.
Here's something to rhapsodize about, an all-new bonus show that recognizes and glorifies things that are monetized and whistleized.
If you don't understand how money works, you're doomed to lose it.
Hey, man, you want to go to the Capitol Grill or Cafe Milano?
I recognize him.
You can't say recognize anymore.
Recognize.
I'm not going to let you recognize.
Oh, my God. Look, I just dropped an orange on the floor.
Recognize.
Recognize.
I recognize an insult when I hear one.
Recognize.
Recognize.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I better get out of here before Dad comes home.
The TMOS bonus show is that friendly surprise that humorizes and arrives in your device every Friday. Get a subscription now and feel energized at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
I hope everybody recognized our genius.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. If you're like most of us, you probably have boxes of old media. Photos, Super 8 film, VHS tapes, slides, collecting dust in your attic or your garage. Worse yet, they're wasting away. You need to preserve those recorded moments so they're safe forever because they can turn to dust. Here's good news. Legacy Box can do it for you. Trusted by over 1 million families, Legacy Box is the simplest and safest way to digitize all of your aging videotapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and pictures so they're preserved forever. Rob preserved his wedding and the birth of his kids.
Yes, amazing stuff.
I can watch my parents. It's amazing.
I found my great-grandpa for the first time.
Very exciting when you have this and you want to preserve it. Trust me, there's nothing cuter than digitized baby Oscar. Huge eyes.
Yeah.
Relive your most important memories this holiday.
Oh, it was the coca leaves.
Give him another one.
He's a funny baby.
Preserve your memories this holiday, and for a limited time only, take advantage of early access to Legacy Box's best sale of the year. Visit legacybox.com/TMOS to shop Legacy Box's Black Friday sale. I would say the Legacy Box Black Friday sale. That's legacybox.com/TMOS for an irresistible deal. Legacybox.com/TMOS. Oh, now everything. Remember when everything quit?
Yeah, you need it?
That's why I got to push 2 buttons. No, I think I got it.
Oh, there it is.
From the 4 corners of the World Wide Web.
There it is.
And into your digital device. It's what you need to know. This is the homepage.
Gentlemen, there will be no fruit smashed in Mudville today or any other day. Gallagher died Friday after a brief illness. Had a chance to see him when he was in D.C. a few years back. He was 76. He'd had several heart attacks over the years. Gallagher was a prop comic who made his name smashing watermelons. The people that would come in, you'd go to a Gallagher show, which I did, at the State Theater in Virginia.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you'd see people just walking in going, hee with their raincoats on.
Didn't he hit Candy with a tennis racket?
Yeah.
Out into the audience?
Yeah. Oh, he's goofy. It was funny. It was just pure
He's a funny man,
fun.
yeah.
He had the Sledge-O-Matic. That was his big thing. And people went nuts over it, and then it became his trademark. In 2013, Gallagher was asked how many watermelons he'd smashed over the course of his career. He said, quote, "I have done 200 shows a year for 35 years. I use about 9 watermelons a show. That's 63,000 watermelons. I have spent over $250,000 of my own money on watermelons." He continued to work steadily for several more years, so his final career total would be higher. So,
Mike, can I go to the clip here? I didn't realize he did Sledge-O-Matic on his Carson debut, and I remember him doing Carson a few times. So this is him on Johnny Carson, Gallagher.
The handiest and the dandiest kitchen tool you've ever seen, and don't you want to know how it works? Yeah! Well, first you get out an ordinary apple. Then you place the apple easily between the patented pan. Then what do you do, gang? It's simple. You reach for the tool that is not a slicer, it's not a dicer, it's not a chopper and a hopper. What could it possibly be? It is Sledge-O-Matic. Hey! Nice and that, quick and easy, applesauce in an instant. But can he do it with a watermelon?
There it
El
is.
bang bang grande! Ole!
They loved him.
You heard the reaction.
Yeah. Thrilled.
Can he do it with the money? And everybody's like this combination of fear and joy at the same time. That's very,
I think
very
the first notable prop comic, the guy who really took it to the next level, and a pretty good writer too. If you watch some of his old Showtime stuff.
Speaking of prop comics, have to share Carla. Carla says to me, she's sitting on the couch, and as she makes a Rob reference randomly. And she says to me, Rob looks really good since he's been working out. And I look, really? She said, yeah, I put a picture up. And I said, really? And she just holds up a picture of Carrot Top. Like the muscular Carrot Top.
The ripped Carrot Top.
Which was funny.
I knew she wouldn't compliment me.
Alec Baldwin wants to make sure it's on the record that he is not responsible for the death of Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins. And he's doing that by suing several crew members who had something to do with a loaded gun that went off and killed her. I still think about that, and I go, what the F? What the F? And it sounds like maybe there were people that were using these guns that are actual real guns to, like, shoot things in between.
Target practice.
Like goofing around,
It's
really.
weird.
Yeah.
The lawsuit alleges negligence by the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez, Reed, as well as the prop master, the first assistant director / safety coordinator, and the ammunition supplier and his company. One of the reasons Alec is doing this is because he's being sued by script supervisor Mamie Mitchell, who was also hit by the bullet that discharged from Alec's gun. She also named a bunch of the people in Alec's suit. Alec's lawsuit is a cross-complaint, meaning he wants a share of any damages Mitchell might win from anyone they are now both suing. And, regardless of how you feel about Alec Baldwin, I don't know what the protocols are with that, but I think I have heard other actors that have been in shoot 'em up say, they always check the gun themselves.
Yes.
They look at it instead of just grabbing it and shooting it, but maybe we'll know more.
It troubles me that after all this, he's still trying to control the narrative, and if he is so worried about the way this is being perceived, there's no need to issue a press release.
Yeah,
you can handle this in court. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
All right, man, Rod Stewart has some advice for you. He says if your lady is going through menopause, you need to take the time to understand it and not just hightail it down to the pub. In an interview with UK's Sunday Times, he said he's never seen menopause before because his previous marriages were to teenagers. No, his previous marriages didn't last that long. His wife, Penny, is 51, and he is 77. Here's the quote. She would get into blinding fits of rage. One night she threw utensils, so me and the boys gave her a hug, and since then she's worked to let people know what it is. Rod said he's been educating himself to understand what his wife is going through. He also supported her campaign to expand menopause education. This is new. Haven't heard a lot about this. And increase the availability of hormone replacement therapy in the UK.
This is not surprising because if you remember, Rod Stewart went through menopause right after Blondes Have More Fun.
Yes, there it is. Then he started singing old standards. Right?
Oh, that's every time.
Right. I have to say, as a proponent of not only hockey fights, but all the boxing and UFC you can stomach, this one seems a little out there for me, but it's coming. UFC boss Dana White is bringing his new Power Slap League to TBS beginning in January. There's part of me that can't look away. There's another part of me that says we are cruising to the Roman Empire right here. If your friendly neighborhood algorithms haven't exposed you to slapping competitions yet, the concept is pretty simple. And if you watch it, I warn you, you got to have a strong stomach to see it.
It's not that bad.
Two people stand toe-to-toe and take turns slapping the bejesus out of each other. They keep doing it until someone gets knocked out, or if that doesn't happen, there's a point system after a certain number of rounds. Scoring is based on a striker's effectiveness, along with the defender's reaction and recovery time. It's interesting you feel that way, Oscar. I kind of get weirded out when I see it because when you get the people at that level that are in this, what is it called? The Power Slap League.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The slow-mo replay when you see it's like it's not a fist, but it doesn't matter because they kind of take the ball of their hand.
Fledged Will Smith strike from the Academy Awards.
It is, and it knocks people out.
It is
cold.
Have you seen?
And you also did it on the radio about 20 years ago with listeners.
There you go.
Yeah, I hated it.
I hated it too.
Did they hit you?
Like it. What's that? We had people come in. And
they had to slap each other?
Yeah, it was management.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
Not really.
Ken Stevens and Jeremy Coleman. Jeremy actually went through the outer window. Legs up in the air. Woo!
What I mean by the Will Smith full open hand slap, it's a strike. So when they strike each other, it's at first off-putting, but then you realize they put themselves there with their own free will.
Right.
And then when you add a level of show business, at least
glitz and glamour
in my feed, because it looks like the set of Over the Top. If you all remember that movie,
the Stallone movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to forget it.
And they're on a
Coming
podium.
to TBS.
Yes.
Yes, they have there's a podium and there's a crowd. I watch it.
I can't be a hypocrite.
No.
I can't say I don't think that, but I will be honest where it kind of look at them like, oh my God. Oh, my God. But you look at it, oh, my God, in the background, you're still looking at it. I want to see that again, and I did. Yeah. I'm sorry. I repeated it, because I wanted to see the slow motion, which was like... And then the guys that go out cold.
Mike, I probably won't watch it, but I have to know.
Here's the thing. I got to say this, all right? With all this stuff you hear about concussion protocol in all major league sports now, you still have these sports that are predicated on concussions.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And it just seems a little out there in 2022 when we're talking about saving people's lives, but at the same time, it's a good outlet for us so we don't tear each other's heads off, right?
These previews that you watch.
These are professionals, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure. And how do you get certified
that means they're
in
not going to be 65 years old and going, Rocky Road?
I'm excited for the senior league of this, but are there any fat guys?
Oh, they're big men.
Yeah.
But I mean, like a butterbean type that when you see the slow-mo of the slap, you would see like the fat.
I haven't gotten into it, so I don't know, but there may be.
There are.
And
the women's circuit, there's usually attractive women, which makes it just a different level
that's dark.
You are. He is.
I'm not watching it.
I'm not making that up.
I'm gonna DVR the parade and just watch the parade over
and over again. From the hard edge of slapping, let's go to the soft edge now. A website called. This is a weird country we live in. Yeah. Puffybear.com.
What's it called?
Puffybear.com.
Puffy Bear.
Selling human-sized teddy bears that you can use as a body pillow.
That you can eat.
But it's not like those oversized bears at carnivals. It's got the head of a teddy bear, but the body of a man.
This is
like something out of a very strange nightmare.
This is a category. Gotta be.
He's got 5 fingers on each hand, but thankfully he's not anatomically correct. He's 5 feet 7 inches tall, billed as an emotional support pillow that, quote, significantly reduces the feeling of loneliness. Matthew? Sorry. If you want your own weird teddy bear boyfriend, they cost $160 plus shipping, almost worth the show expense leading up to the holidays.
Can you get another head other than a bear on it?
I don't know, Rob. You'll have to look into it. You'll have to go to puffybear.com.
Really
I'm not going to do that.
The website says he arrives naked with no clothes, so you can dress him however you want. He fits into large and extra large men's clothing.
Who doesn't?
What's it called again, Mike?
Puffybear.com.
Puffybear.com. There you go. And now a little something. Hyundai is taking airbag designed to the nether regions.
Oh my
protection.
God! Hold on a sec. Let me show you this. This is crazy.
Oh, that is nuts.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm bringing it to you now.
I've seen it. I've seen it already. Yeah, I've seen
it's creepy.
It's creepy.
Although he looks nice in that Christmas sweater.
It's beautiful. Puffybear.com. Yeah.
He certainly doesn't have any sort of reproductive organs.
All right. Shut up. Back to my kicker.
Okay, sorry.
Hyundai is taking airbag design to the nether regions of protection. The South Korean automaker invented an unusual crotch airbag. In a car crash, you can submarine or slip underneath the lap belt. I never realized that, but when you slip underneath the belt, it can cause organ damage, or what EMTs might call the paper bag effect, where your organs are damaged internally. Sure. As it tightens over your soft tummy. The crotch airbag deploys from the seat base between the thighs, which prevents you from sliding forward in your seat, removing any chance of submarining.
Okay.
With its T-shape, the crotch airbag features a thin, inflatable support section linked to an inflatable horizontal bar at the top. It rises out of the front edge of the seat cushion. The airbag is securely held in place by fabric tethers. When asked about the new airbag, Hyundai's chief of development said, quote, We haven't quite perfected it yet. Thank you. I want to tell you, that's wild. That's one that just jumped right off the page.
Thank God no one was hurt.
Yes, in the deployment of these airbags. We will take a break. We have got a lot to talk about on the show. I'd like to talk about Dave Chappelle, if we can.
Okay.
That's coming up next right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Hey gang, it's Twitch in the kitchen. Now that it's full-on fruitcake season, we're gearing up in the TMOS Commercial Bakery to start cranking out these delicious Rob Spiewak signature fruitcakes. And today I want to introduce you to our newest TMOS Keebler elf that'll be helping us do all the baking in the big hollowed-out oak tree. It's legendary AC/DC lead guitarist Angus Young. Angus brings that great rock star energy to the kitchen that'll really help us crank out these incredible fruitcakes this year. Ooh, baby! Problem is, Angus is only about 3.5 feet tall, and Rob's already stepped on him 4 times. I got 9 lives! More brown sugar, Angus! Yeah! Bells, go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and order your fruitcake today. They're only available for a limited time, so get them now or you'll miss out for another entire year. Rob, you're standing on Angus again.
Fruitcakes. Limited time this year, so you got to get them while you can. Get your fruitcakes, and we're excited about them. And we're going to be they're going to be the best ever this year. Get yourself a fruitcake right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com. Welcome back to the show. This is a busy time of year, and the last thing you need is having to run out at the last minute to some overpriced drugstore just because you ran out of razors. The solution? Harry's. They deliver right to your door, so you never need to worry. I am a Harry's guy for life. I just got my new supply last week, as a matter of fact. We are all amazing fans of Harry's. They have a great price point, blades that never seem to get dull, and the best shaving cream and body wash on the planet. Right now, you can get your Harry's starter set for just $3. Plus, you'll get a free travel-size body wash. The set includes a 5-blade razor that I think is just about the best, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover. That is a $16 value. You can get that for just $3. Just visit harrys.com/TMOS. Harry's has the highest customer satisfaction rating in the shaving industry. And they're still offering a no-risk trial. Don't like your shave? No worries. It's on them. No matter how busy things get, you can stay fresh with Harry's. Get your Harry's starter set today, and you'll also get a free travel-sized body wash. That's fantastic as well. Just go to harrys.com/TMOS. That's harrys.com/TMOS. All right, so, we obviously are in an era of difficult times for comedians. This is a bit of a problem we have all across the country with cancel culture. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I realize the concerns of, people who have been targeted for hate crimes, and people get killed over it. And it's a weird time that we live in. So when it came to Dave Chappelle, there was controversy regarding his appearance on Saturday Night Live. He chose during his monologue to spend time talking about Kanye West and his anti-Semitic comments, and then flash forward to after the weekend. Well, now Dave Chappelle being called out to a degree on perhaps soft peddling the anti-Semitic thing. Here's what I think is going on. I think it's time for people to let comedians be comedians. I think Chappelle was funnier when he wasn't involved in all these controversies. When he was, if you watch Saturday Night Live, there's a sketch in there about House of Dragons where it's classic Chappelle material, and it reminds me of one of the greatest, funniest shows on television, The Chappelle Show. Yet when he's dealing with these controversies, it's almost like he gets too obsessed with the issues of the day. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think
I completely disagree.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. And I respectfully disagree, as we're friends and we're not just going to yell at each other.
Right.
I believe that how about this? I agree with you to an extent. And I agree with you in the fact that they're comedians, and because they're comedians, that doesn't mean you have to weigh or change the way you think because of what they're putting on the table. It makes
you're
you think.
Listening to them.
Yeah, you're listening to them. You can think about it, and it can give you some perspective on, like, okay, what am I going to take away from this? Mm-hmm. But when the Anti-Defamation League speaks, it's different than any comedian on stage on any platform. Like, you have to weigh who is speaking about the topic and how they're speaking about it.
Like assign a certain amount of weight to the fact that he's a comic.
Weigh on that. Are they allowed? It's, this country's built on free speech. Was he soft peddling anti-Semitism and a place. I think Dave Chappelle, the Chris Rocks of the world, give you an opportunity to think about what is happening. And as a black man, as a black comedian, they're giving you a different perspective within their lens on cancel culture. But I think we all at this table can say within that perspective that I'll weigh someone outside of a comedian sphere heavier within what I think is appropriate and what I feel like at home, which there's no room for this anti-Semitism at all, anywhere, especially when it's espoused by someone so influential like a Kanye West. Ari Emanuel was on CNBC this morning.
So,
they asked him the same
clarify
thing.
your
Yes.
point.
Yes.
Are you saying that that he should shut the F up about these issues?
No, I think that
are you saying
anybody
what are
can
you
speak.
saying? I'm not sure what you're saying.
I'm saying that there's so much weight being given on what he said on SNL, and by weight I mean they're giving so much attention to be like, oh, he's with Kanye or he's anti-Semitic. Look at the person that's talking. If you get past what is essentially the message, he's saying, be careful on canceling people, cancel culture. This is a man who's been attacked at every turn in the past 5 years by cancel culture. So he has a certain amount of experience with this, not the anti-Semitism, but just LGBTQ plus everything else. So he's coming from an artistic standpoint.
Well, what do you disagree with that I'm saying?
I'm disagreeing that we should even give as much weight to Chappelle or any comedian when they speak out about this.
No, I think you're agreeing with
because
Mike.
They're
You're agreeing with me then.
Maybe I misunderstood you.
Yeah.
Maybe I misunderstood.
No, I am saying let the guys be funny.
Yes.
And I'll add to that point and say Dave Chappelle is a heck of a lot funnier when this crap isn't going on. I thought his monologue was not the usual Dave Chappelle
I think it was like
monologue because he felt pressure to comment on the controversies of the day. I like it when, Dave Chappelle is a point of view comic.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Double over funny, right?
Yes, he is.
The double over. I think when people put the weight on him that you're talking about, it muddies the water, and I wish he'd just kind of tune it out.
I agree.
And move on to the silly stuff like he did with Game, because he is so funny. Now, there are two things at play here, I think. When you talk about Dave Chappelle, he gets heavy and he almost like believes his own press with the I'm going to do social commentary. I hate that part. I do. I mean, I'm talking, and listen, my point is not, saying blow off people that are making anti-Semitic comments. My point is for the performance. I watch Dave Chappelle because I want to watch him slay it.
Yep.
I want to watch him kill.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating when these controversies get to where I think, because if you, I have no right to crawl in his mind, but let's do it for a second.
Okay.
I see a guy that's like, okay, people are going to want me to do something heavy. I'll talk about Kanye. And I just felt that it was rushed and it was, it was bordering on cringy, when he did
I
the
agree.
whole, there are a lot of Jews in Hollywood. That was a little cringy and not as funny as it should. I've seen Chappelle when he talks about his own personal experience.
That's different.
The black experience that is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but you're not saying shut up and just be funny. That's not what you're saying. You're saying there's a time and place.
No, I'm saying that I believe a comedian should tackle everything. Yeah. I think that's fine. I'm talking, this is an observation on my Dave Chappelle fandom. That what I want from my Dave Chappelle, when I'm talking, and I'm reviewing Dave Chappelle strictly on a presentation on Saturday Night Live for the monologue, where I don't watch Saturday Night Live, but until there's a guy like Dave Chappelle on, then I can't tear myself away. I can't wait to watch it. And with all this crap that's going on, sometimes I wish that he would just do the personal perspective stuff that is so amazingly brilliant, and his also satire is brilliant as well. I thought the Kanye thing was, it's almost, Rob, do you get the impression he tries to be careful? when he's doing the
I think he was definitely walking a line, and I think that limits him. Now, I watch Saturday Night Live cover to cover, except for usually the music act, every week.
Nothing to be proud of.
Well, okay, but I mean, I'm just telling you.
Just saying, you say it like it's a badge of honor.
No, but what I'm doing is I'm paralleling myself.
Yes. But you should actually.
May I be proud that I set the table?
No, you should say.
Pride is a saint.
I'm ashamed that I still watch SNL every week.
I'm OCD. It's just what I do. I watch it. And
I'm glad you watch it because I like occasionally it'll do something that gets noticed.
And they afford, I think, probably, normally 5 minutes to the opening monologue. This week was like 15 minutes. And when it was done, I looked at Carrie. I said, that felt like a chore to listen to because it was Chappelle, but it wasn't Chappelle.
It's different if you're making that commentary and you're being irreverent across all sides.
It was very laser focused.
Yeah. So it's laser focused. And Mike, this morning, Ari Emanuel, for those of you not know, wrote an op-ed piece about Kanye West, which essentially spurred this accounting of Kanye West and his actions, because a lot of people were looking away and saying that he's just an artist, but he's been doing this for years. And he was on CNBC this morning, and they asked him about it. They said, what are your thoughts on Kanye West? He said, look, I had to have that piece put out because there was too much anti-Semitism coming out of Kanye West's camp, and no one was stopping him. And I'm open to Kanye West, coming back to the table and saying, I want to learn about this. I want a correct course. I'm open to learning about this. That's different than he made a fact. The anchors asked him, they said, okay, so what do you think about Kyrie Irving? He goes, it seems like the commissioner's dealing with Kyrie Irving because he had similar anti-Semitic tweets and posts, and the NBA's dealing with that. He goes, what about Dave Chappelle? He goes, Dave Chappelle was funny this weekend. Dave Chappelle was funny. He is a comedian. How much weight are we going to put on that? I think that. And
I analyze my Chappelle thing is based on, I wish, as far as funny goes, it was okay. I mean, I've seen him kill, and that's all I'm talking about.
Well, compared to his last...
Let the man... I think the pressure sometimes is overwhelming on these big-time guys, especially... They're not many more bigger than Dave Chappelle. Yes. No. I think sometimes all the crap just weighs them down, and let them spread their wings and
compared to
give us what we love.
His last SNL monologue, he was Dave Chappelle. I got to go back like 2 or 3 years ago.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic, and also
everybody that's a true Chappelle fan, a lot of them are going to agree with us on that. I think.
Also, tip of the hat to the NBC audio crew that had the bass all the way up Howard Stern style on his handheld microphone. Yeah. At one point, went to
do you
and as far as the Kanye stuff. It's just, it's so, I don't know where it comes from. I've never known where it comes from.
Apparently.
But I mean, I'm just talking about, I'm not talking about Kanye. I'm talking about in general, anti-Semitism, Holocaust denying.
Well, it's
just so, it's
ignorant, Mike. It's
despicable.
It's an easy trope. I don't think we talked about this, actually.
What's that?
We might have missed it because it was just like
the fact that I watch Saturday Night Live every week.
This is up your alley.
Okay.
David Letterman, apparently, when they taped his episode, this just came out in the last 10 days. When they taped Kanye West's episode of David Letterman's Netflix special, which is
this guest needs no introduction.
Yeah, Kanye espoused 45 minutes to an hour of all this garbage. This was in 2018. And they edited around it.
That's BS.
Wow.
That's weird. Like protecting him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or protecting Dave.
They wanted to have that name on the season.
Tucker did the same thing. There were 18 minutes of extra anti-Semitism that Tucker Carlson's crew edited out of that interview.
Shame on them. That's what I say.
Was Tucker saying it or was Kanye?
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah, but for David Letterman, he has the power to say we're not like LeBron James. We're not going to air this episode. This guy's crazy.
Yeah. Or and I would be in the same boat if you had an A-lister on and a megastar that you're not necessarily 100% comfortable with, and they go out on this rant. You're probably not happy with the way you deal with it because you don't deal with it harshly enough.
Right.
You know, where you say, F you. That's crap. I don't know. Who knows? I didn't see it. But at the same time, you know, I just think we have to shout it down.
Ever vigilant.
And, ever vigilant, and shout it down in your own private life.
But Mike, you're right to bring this up, because every headline on every news outlet is this backlash against Chappelle.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I think when Chappelle deals with these controversial issues, two things happen. He tries to play both sides, and he takes away from the personal perspective stuff that really, I think, it kills it, like on the previous monologue.
Yeah.
And I don't know which I dislike more, but I dislike both of them.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Just
I hate
be
it
more
when he
funny.
does that,
Be more funny.
Be more funny. That's it. That's the moral of that. We're running late. We got to take a break. We'll
Did like the Game of Thrones sketch, though. Looked big budget.
Oh, it was, that made me laugh.
That
and
was
the Black
great.
Barber Shop.
That was also great.
Well.
That newcomer was funny.
That was funny as hell. We got to take a break, and we will come back with more fun and more thrills on the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, whoa. Had a great drive to school with my kid who was talking about Harvard. Said he wants to be a lawyer. Dad, I think I want to be a lawyer. I said, why is that? He said, because I like to argue.
He could be, you know what? Kid lawyer.
Your Honor, I object. I'll allow it. Have you been heard on a podcast? It's no time to play grab-ass, fella. It's time to get tough and call the law offices of Michael William O'Mara, kid attorney.
So an Irishman walks into a pub.
O'Mara is on the case, and you'll get the money you deserve. The Mike O'Mara bonus show is so funny, it should be illegal. Get a bonus show subscription today through the link at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Michael William O'Mara, kid attorney.
Oh, yeah, it's driving me nuts.
He knows all about the birds and the bees, but it's his opponents in the courtroom who are really You can't handle the truth.
Where's the time gone? My son telling pub jokes now. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on just a second.
Right.
Bear with me.
Yeah. You know, Oscar, that brings
go into my elbow.
That brings all the listeners good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Buena suerte.
Welcome back. There's nothing quite like the feeling of gathering around a warm fire on a cool evening. And a smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove makes your outdoor moments even more memorable. We're going to have family coming in this coming weekend, and I think it might be cool enough to fire it up. I'm really excited. Instead of having to constantly dodge campfire fumes, you can sit back, relax, and actually enjoy the fire. It's so good. You have to understand, down here where we are, it's so exciting.
Yes.
We have an opportunity to bust out the Solo Stove.
Julia sent me a link to buy vegan marshmallows.
Oh, very exciting.
They're really expensive.
I bet they are. I bet they're tasty, too.
Oh, I bet.
During Solo Stove's early deals event, you can get great deals on a Solo Stove fire pit. It's designed to regulate airflow and burn more effectively. There's so little smoke, you'll wonder how there's so much fire. They are made with stainless steel and designed to maximize efficiency. It's easy to light with just a few bits of starter. Your fire is ablazing in minutes. Plus, they offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. The perfect catalyst for getting outside and spending more time with family and friends. We all have them. We all love them. Solo Stove is the best. Let the gifting begin. Shop Solo Stove's early deals event for huge site-wide savings. Get $10 off with promo code TMOS plus a lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. Get an extra $10 off holiday deals at solostove.com. Promo code TMOS. All right, we've got time for a very quickie break right now, and I don't think I'm going to get satisfaction out of it because I want to ask Oscar about this Yellowstone deal.
Yes.
So I'm watching the football game. Way to go, Big Blue. Watching the football game, and they're promoting the crap out of Paramount TV's Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Watch it live. Now, last year, I caught up on Yellowstone, and then I watched season 4. This year, it's season 5. So they're doing this thing where Paramount. I don't even know how to manage my streaming services. But I know when you're talking about the big ones, Paramount is down the food chain a ways. It's not
great. The reason I got it,
Netflix.
the only reason I got it was to see iCarly, and then I just let it stick around.
iCarly, okay. Good for you. Really?
That was the original
iCarly?
reason. Yeah, the reboot of iCarly, because it was
Isn't that a child show?
But they rebooted it for grown-ups because they're all grown up now.
Also,
Oscar, you think he's a little pervy for liking iCarly? Do you think that's...
I was never an iCarly person, but he's right that the new the new movie, I guess what they did or whatever they
did another 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons. This was like 2 years ago.
I was drinking.
There were adults that were like, "I got iCarly," and I thought twice of them as well.
Yeah,
but your wife loves it.
We both watched it because it premiered when the kids were at the perfect age for it, so it was in our house every Saturday night.
So you used to watch it, you wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I wanted to.
But getting back to the whole Yellowstone thing, so are they trying to hawk? Here's what I can't do. I'll pay for a great TV show, which I did. I paid the buku bucks to watch Yellowstone.
Hell, we all did.
And I got it on Amazon Prime. But I'm not buying your monthly. I'm not buying your monthly. No. I bought the season 5.
Season 4.
No. How about this?
I understand.
I bought season 5 yesterday, and then I went to go watch it, and they're showing me inside the Dutton Ranch, and I'm not being able to see it.
No.
I get to see it tonight, though.
Yeah,
I think I get the whole season.
How much cost a season?
Oh my God!
Why are you laughing? Why are you both laughing at me?
You must. Someone needs to go in and check out all your streaming services.
Yeah.
Paramount Network
wait,
is a
hold
free
on.
channel.
You're not hearing me. I didn't buy Paramount. I bought the show,
which is even worse. Even worse for your financial.
Why is it worse?
Your pocketbook.
No, I paid one time and that's it. I watch the whole season whenever I want. I'm not doing a monthly it'd be the same. Why are you mocking me?
How much cost a season?
Mocking me?
How much did a season cost?
Like $30.
That's like almost a year of Paramount Plus. You could get it and cancel it.
Yeah.
And get all the other shows.
You get the whole
but
network.
I have to wait every week, don't I, to get Yellowstone if I do that?
You
I
will
don't
always wait regardless because it'll go to streaming after it's live on their channel.
Right.
It'll go to stream. Huh?
It'll go live.
You're not
going to
be able. You're not going to be able to binge.
And then after the day is over, you'll get it the next day.
Then I'll finish watching The Crown and I'll binge it when I feel
You'll
like
show
it.
them.
Yeah, you'll show them.
But so you're saying tell me what I'm. Both of you bastards. Tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Can get
if you still had DirecTV,
I got no place to go.
Can I answer?
Yes.
What do you have? Comcast?
No, I got DirecTV.
Okay, still has. Yeah.
Then you have
it. You get it for free, you rube. Find the network and then just DVR it, and you don't have to pay for anything.
You can still stream it, just off your DVR.
Can I go in and cancel it?
No,
you have to ask Big Paramount.
Big Paramount. You have to call the guy that's in the movie The
Paramount.
Offer.
Mike.
You do.
It's Comedy Central rebranded, so you definitely have Paramount.
I think
television.
it's channel 246 for some reason.
So dumb. We gotta take a break. That's it. You got nothing more to say. I am so dumb. Oh my God!
Just press schedule it to record every week. And you'll be fine.
Season pass.
It was more than $30.
I know, it was like $50. I've done it.
We've offered you a solution that is cost-nerific.
We'll be right back.
Power 95. Twitch patrol lines are open. Hi, who's this?
I shouldn't tell you.
Why? Do I know you?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Is this Jim Amato?
No.
Have I had fun with you within the past 2 months?
Yes.
Okay, that cuts it down to 1,000. Are you Rick Schofield?
No.
Are you Jolene White?
No.
Are you Linda Hart?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm waiting for you to get tickets to the Mike O'Mara live show in New Orleans on April 15th at 8 p.m. at the House of Blues. Tickets are on sale to the general public on November 1st.
Because of you, I'll be in New Orleans.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Channel 241, Mike.
241.
241.
We'll get to. All right, I'll talk to you about it after this commercial because I have a couple more questions. I'm so mad at myself right now. Really, you have no idea. The holidays are approaching. This is one of my dumbest moments ever. The holidays are approaching, so it's time to start thinking about what you're going to give your loved ones. Well, look no further than a personalized coffee subscription from Trade Coffee.
Yeah.
Trade Coffee. Here it is, right here. This is the Greater Goods Coffee Company. One of their wonderful coffees that I'm enjoying right now. You're gonna love it. Trade Coffee is a coffee subscription service that makes Oh, I love that smell. Makes it simple to discover new coffees and make your best cup of joe at home every day. Trade partners with the nation's top-rated independent roasters to send you coffee that they know you will love. Fresh to your home and on your preferred schedule. It's the perfect gift for loved ones. Trade makes it easy with their digital gifting options for last-minute shoppers or their coffee and equipment bundles for something under the tree. Right now, I'm drinking Kickstart. That is a dark roasted, full body brew that I just showed you with notes of brown sugar and dark chocolate. It's very rich. I love it. Treat yourself or the coffee lover in your life with Trade Coffee right now. Trade is offering our listeners a total of $30 off a subscription and access to limited time holiday specials at drinktrade.com/TMOS. That's drinktrade.com/TMOS for $30 off. Remember, drinktrade.com/TMOS. Okay, now listen. I want to finish this, and please let me have my say and explain myself, and then you can mock away.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
What I thought, and what I thought incorrectly, because I never watched the channel, and I thought that Paramount was a streaming service. That's what I thought. I thought Paramount, you can, if you, Rob, that smirk, I swear to God, I don't watch as much. I don't sit in front of the magic box as much as you do. I didn't.
You do,
there's
actually.
Nothing, there's not, no, I probably do. Well, okay, I do, actually.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. It is, they do
I thought
offer,
it was a streaming
they
service.
Offer
I thought it was like
Amazon
Prime. Well, God damn it, they conjured and confused me.
It's a dessert topping and a floor
Yeah,
wax.
HBO Max.
Yeah, precisely.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
There's a
I'm
channel.
I'm gonna go back and fix this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and
Just
fix
say you've had Silver Alert, terrible order, my fault.
Don't say Silver Alert.
No, you're right. This was a Silver Alert moment.
This is talking about what we see on the highway.
I know exactly. You probably get them a lot. Blame
I
your
didn't
kid.
I didn't know it was a channel.
My son
I thought it was a streaming service.
He thought we were watching what's your
iCarly?
No, Hey Boo
SpongeBob?
Boo. Hey Boo Boo.
Oh, Yogi Bear.
Yeah, my son thought we were going to watch Yogi Bear, Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Please refund my money.
That's Jellystone.
I had no idea. I thought it was. I watch. Here's the thing. You watch TV Land.
Yeah.
You watch Paramount TV. I've never seen it. Never in my
Mike,
life.
I hate to say
this.
this, but have you ever gone through and customized your channel list for when you hit guide?
No.
Oh, you're killing yourself.
It would change your life.
It would change your life.
Yeah, you just see your favorites.
You just see the ones that you care about.
That's all I look at.
Yeah.
I get a view on my cable box of like everything I just like.
Yep.
All right, we have to sit down and do this.
Yeah, because how many seconds and minutes of your life do you waste going to the channel or figuring out where it is?
I don't have Home and Gardens television.
Yeah, must order it online. Here's $50.
I had no idea that it was a channel. I
you
thought it was
literally
a streaming
paid
service.
for NBC without having to pay for NBC.
Yeah,
they're promoting it like it would be the History Channel or TMZ.
Yeah.
I'm not TMZ or TCM.
Yeah.
That's what they were promoting it on. Where I thought, for some reason in my mind, I thought they're promoting this on a streaming service.
It's
and
$2.41.
How stupid
Yeah.
of me.
So you're not going to get.
I can go back on Prime and do
you
that.
can. You can
fix that.
cancel it. It's a big company.
Yeah. Right.
What I hope you find is that, and no spoilers. This is off.
Did you
last
watch
season.
it already?
Oh, last night. And there are 2 episodes.
Yeah, no, they're 2 hours.
It's an extra long one. Yeah.
And
by the way, I'm watching The Crown now on Netflix, which is just as good.
Prince Charles, the new Prince Charles is too good looking.
Agreed with that.
Yeah.
But the Diana character,
Oh, she's perfect.
absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
And the whole Dodi Fayed, Mohammed Fayed.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
it's great. It just get that show every time they put a new cast in, it's still good. But you're right about
We
that.
were watching with my mom, and she's like, "¿Quién es él?" And then I'm trying to tell my mom, I think that's Prince El Rey, he's the king now.
Yeah, the king.
And she says, "No, El Rey es feo," which is the king is ugly.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah,
yeah. The new guy is a heartthrob. I'm attracted to him.
Yeah.
Okay, on
That's
that note, thank you. We'll have a TV class for me. All right?
Don't subscribe to something you already paid for.
We call this stereophonic sound.
Sound Town.
I
didn't know.
You should call us.
Yes.
You should.
I might call you tonight about the arranging the
your channel.
If I have any
Mike,
questions.
it's so great. You're gonna love it. I can't believe you haven't ever done it. And you can name your channel list. You name it
like
Mike.
Instructions on a stereo set.
All right, Mike.
Set. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll go buy my. Then I'll go. Forget it. I'm old. All right,
Mike. You can hook your transistor radio right up to your stereo set.
Where's my Walkman? All right,
Mike,
God.
we are of an age, sadly, that we can no longer vacation alone.
You know, I just realized that now that I'm single, I'm too old to go on vacation alone. I literally can't go on vacation. A single adult man can't do it. A woman can do it. Everyone just assumes she's getting her groove back. When a man does it, everyone just assumes he's a sex tourist.
Yeah, we can't do it.
That's funny.
So true. So true.
Meanwhile, in Arizona,
sex tourist. That's so gross. By the way, I saw on YouTube a video. I think it was Bangkok at night, and it's just a guy out on the street in Bangkok with a phone, just videoing the whole thing, and you see.
Was he a mailman?
Nasty. It's just weird.
All right.
It's weird. Creepy.
Meanwhile, and I have to credit Oscar for that. He was the one who
I
dug
saw
that
that
up
come
on
up on
TikTok.
my feed, and I was like, "Well, I'm not single, but I agree with this."
Mike.
Sex
Meanwhile, in Arizona, a Florida-worthy story. A man was arrested for DUI. Of course, he wasn't drinking; he was on meth. And what did they find when they arrested him? An owl that he bought at a gas station. He bought an owl at a gas station.
We think that she had gotten knocked around or jostled somehow in that tumultuous night that she had. The officer handled it like a pro, you know? He did the right thing, got it to safety, so he has a really good story to take home and tell his family. It brought home two different illegal points. No, you can't own wildlife, and no, don't do drugs.
Turned out the owl was injured, so never buy an injured owl. And I close with this. This is a tape also from Oscar, and it's fascinating. It's Bruce Springsteen on the Graham Norton Show telling a story that I think is just so great. He refers to a movie, Stardust Memories, and you all should know that in that movie, Woody Allen is very sick of his fans. He's rude to his fans in Stardust Memories. And that's the movie that Bruce Springsteen went to see.
I was at a cinema watching Woody Allen's Stardust Memories. I had met a kid in the lobby who was there with his girlfriend and said, "Do you want to sit with us?" So I said, "Okay." So I went and I sat, and we watched the movie. And he says, "Is that how you feel about your fans?" So I said, "Well, not so much." Right? He says, "I'm going to go home now. Will you come home and meet my parents?"
You didn't.
I said, "Okay."
Oh, I love that.
And we walked in the door, and it's about 11 o'clock at night. And he says, Mom, I have Bruce Springsteen with me." And she goes, "Who?" And he runs in his bedroom and comes out with the album and shows her the album cover. She says, "Bruce Springsteen." And of course, then she goes, "Oh my God, let me make him some eggs." And so around midnight, I was sitting in a little house in St. Louis having some eggs with this kid and his mom.
And to this day, when he tours St. Louis, he's in touch with that family.
Yeah.
I love it.
Isn't that great?
It says everything you need to know about the dude, right?
He
That's
says,
fantastic.
"Will you come to my house?" Okay. Okay, that's all I got, Mike. That's all I got.
That is absolutely fantastic. Great clip right there. All right, I promise you I will rectify the situation. I even put it on my show prep. I got to give you this last thing here.
All right.
How I wrote it down here. All right, because I know I did it. Yellowstone.
Yeah.
In parentheses. Did they want me to subscribe to a channel just for one show? Like it was a streaming service. It's right there. If you ever want to verify it. My stupidity is on paper. You can eat.
Mike, you could also, if you finish with the show and you don't have much to do, you can also buy season 5 of The Sopranos.
Thank you, ass. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode for Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana. Mike O'Meara saying, so long, everybody.
Toodles.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Meara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MearaShow.com.
Mike O'Meara, Radio Entertainment.
Greedy Granny. Avocados from Mexico.